You are listening to Reels Movie Podcast. I am your host, Z, and before I get into this review, let me remind you to subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, leave a comment below, hit that bell for notifications, and you'll never miss a future episode. Today I'm going to review a movie that people were either really excited for, or that people flat out said the movie's going to be horrible before even seeing it. And I'm talking about 2019's Child's Play. A mother gives her 13-year-old son a toy doll for his birthday, unaware of its more sinister nature. Now, before I can even talk about the movie, I have to say you cannot compare this movie and the original Child's Play movie. They do have similar plots, characters, and everything like that, but the newer version changed it up and actually makes it a different movie. So if you refuse to see this because it's a stain on the name of the original, that is your prerogative. But if you do see it, you will be pleasantly surprised how different the movie actually comes off as. I'm just gonna jump right out and say it. Chucky isn't a serial killer like the original. He is in fact a straight up doll. You heard that correctly. Charles Lee Ray is no more. Chucky is just a remote control AI doll. It all starts off with an employee in Vietnam who gets bullied and then fired by his manager, loses it and turns off all the safeguards on the buddy doll, and then he commits suicide. After that opening scene, this whole part is completely forgotten and never said in the movie. It's just a quick way to explain how a normal doll would turn bad. The new Chucky doll is very different compared to how Brad Dourif originally played the character. Instead of having free will on voices like in the original, this new Chucky mimics what other say, do, and see. Andy's friends tell Chucky to do it for Tupac while giving a stabbing motion. Chucky says it and does it later in the movie while he's killing Karen's boyfriend. It's like Chucky is more impressionable, younger kid that takes in everything he sees and hears, which is actually enjoyable to see Chucky literally grow before our eyes throughout the movie. Mark Hamill was okay as Chucky's voice, but I expected so much more from him compared to how he voices Joker in the Batman movies and even the video games and his other voice work. I just thought he would be more evil rather than a clowny type voice. But I'm not going against his work. He did a good job. As Chucky, I just expected a lot more from him. And to my surprise, this Child's Play movie is a lot gorier than the first one, and in fact, any of the original sequels. We get many creative deaths and very tense and thrilling moments. And like I said, I wasn't expecting it. I thought they would have toned it down like the first one. Boy, was I fucking wrong. One of the best moments was we actually get a face cut off, and we do see the after effects of the face without the head and the head without the face. I do have to give them a round of applause for the amount of gore and creativity as well on the deaths. They really made it seem like it was a 1980s slasher movie that we all loved growing up in that time. But I did expect a lot more in the final scene with Chucky pretty much controlling the entire store with people locked inside. We only get a few deaths here and there, some off screen, and many others that was very hard to see because of the red lighting throughout the movie. I just expected a lot more, especially with Chucky controlling every aspect of the store with other Chucky doll or other Buddy dolls, drones with razor blades taped to the propellers. He had everything at his disposal, and we'd only get brief moments of death. Now, with the acting, I think everyone did their part fairly well. Aubrey Plaza was probably the worst, and I think she was just okay. She didn't really stand out from anyone else. I mean, it's not comparing her to the kid or even the cop or Chucky itself. It's just for her, she didn't stand out at all. And she didn't really do anything great. She didn't even come off as a mom. She rather than like an older sister. That's even joked upon in the movie as well. Just watching her was like watching a cheerful April from Parks and Rec. I know people are gonna hate me saying that, but I just didn't care for her performance. Gabriel Bateman, who plays Andy, does a really, really, really good job as Andy. And I actually didn't see much wrong with his character, other than he cries way too much when his character should have been stronger. One thing, he is deaf, which we do see in the trailers, and he wears a hearing aid. Thankfully, the movie didn't do those old cliches with children and their defects like hearing aids or asthma or anything that puts them in harm. The hearing aids briefly mentioned here. They joke, some kid jokes about it with Andy while during a fight, and it's never used against him. So thankfully, they didn't go that route. I'm going to give 2019's Child Play a C plus. Thank you for listening to this episode of Reels Movie Podcast. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notifications, and I'll see you later.